Hi, friends. This October favorites will be a doozy. Timestamps will be down below. That's all I'll say. There's a ton I want to share about October, specifically about the haircut I received. So let's start off with lifestyle, shall we? I had the pleasure of visiting Rëzo Salon here in New York City. Sophie was my stylist, and my first haircut in what feels a year and a half, 2 years. Well, how did I encounter Rëzo Salon? Well, I met Brittany Minetti, who used to work at Diva Curl. I attended an event there a few years back, and she had recorded her visit to Rëzo Salon. She has beautiful curly hair, but what struck me was just the diverse amount of textures I saw in the different clients, right? Textures like mine, tighter, looser, everything in between. And why was I seeking out a new salon? Well, the haircuts I was receiving when they grew out, for whatever reason, no matter what products I use, the method, the Dyson, okay, I couldn't pinpoint the reason why my hair dried in a strange mullet fashion. Let me explain. The crown part is exceptionally prone to dryness and shrinkage, while the lower part of my hair is a little loosey curly, okay? And this will be a little long, this will be a little short, and when everything was said and done and dried, the shape was off, which is why I never wore it out, why I always put it up in a poof. And that established my identity for years, where I would always put my hair up. I didn't wear it any other way because, again, hated my shape. So I thought maybe I need a new stylist, right? Before I used to get my hair cut wet. Maybe now I have to go back to getting my hair cut dry. So Sophie did cut my hair dry. It was all like out and wild. She had explained that there was a lot that was taken off from the crown, not enough at the bottom. So the lower part of my hair has been shortened significantly. So now the crown part can actually catch up. And eventually, yes, I will like my hair to be a little longer, to have that better hang time. And as much as I had tried to achieve that with the haircut I already had, it wasn't drying that way. It was just drying into a tight curly fro, which I love, but I'm like, I have a lot more length. Why is it drying in this way where it didn't have that hang time? And yes, I could apply more product, but that just didn't seem to be the culprit to me. So I got my hair cut dry. Sophie had recommended a few products, which I'll go over in the hair section. We're coming to that momentarily. And now I'm being more adamant about only using clarifying shampoos once a month, using low sudsing once a week. I have an oil treatment that I apply once a week, now using mousse instead of creamy styling products. I totally revamped my routine so that I can better take care of my hair in the shape. And right now it is in a curly fro, which I feel more confident in wearing and styling. Again, before, my hair was such in an odd shape that I just didn't want to wear it out. And now with my hair in this way, I could dabble into different types of styles. Here I did like the triple ponytail where it kind of simulates a mohawk, but not really. And also a quick way for me to now wear bucket hats. Before, with my pony poof, if I changed my mind, the bottom part will be oddly long because it was brushed up to meet the pony poof at the crown of my head. But now, because the bottom part is shorter, it doesn't look that outrageous if I decide to wear a bucket hat or a cap. And the braid up style that I have now, I found that is very easy to achieve. I use some water and the Pattern Beauty Detangling Nectar so I can eliminate any snagging while braiding my hair up. And this allows me to braid the shorter length at the bottom and actually have some type of pony poof shape at the top. And also I wet the bangs, so I'll use water, a little bit of mousse as well, to define the bangs and the top portion of the braid. And I'll use a pick as well, in addition to my Dyson dryer, so the hair can dry more fluffy and have better shape when all is said and done. I definitely underwent a little bit of an identity crisis because, as I said before, I wore my pony poof so many times, and because of this new cut, I couldn't achieve that as easily. And I was fine with that. You know, an opportunity to navigate and steer, find another avenue, find another path. And I used to do this a lot actually, but it's been a lot easier with my hair being shorter here, even if it takes more time than my pony poof. I absolutely love this style. If I wanted, I could do my handkerchief tie-in in here where the pony meets the bangs. I could leave it as is. I could glam it up like I did. I wore this style for the wedding I attended last weekend. It's very versatile in that way, but what I'm most excited about is, again, my revamped hair routine. I'm just looking forward for it to grow in a much better shape. So we set it up again with the shorter length at the bottom and not taking as much from the crown of my head. And I love this. It's been my go-to style, and if I want to wear my hair out in a fro, I can do so confidently now, embracing the new shape and embracing the fact that this is my hair, this is my texture. I go in waves with my hair. Our relationship, I think, is steady now. Sometimes it can, you know, go off the deep end and we come back, we get together, but I truly think I had to be a responsible hair owner and admit that I wasn't taking good care of her. I wasn't doing the weekly treatment. Again, I wasn't keeping track of the washes and what shampoos I was using. And I think now with the new routine and having this commitment and devoting the time that is required to ensure my hair health so it can grow longer, stronger, and I'll actually see the shape that I want to see in a few years. So yay. So why don't we talk about the hair products now? The Bondi Boost Curl Boss shampoo, the best shampoo I've ever used. I know that is a hearty statement. I've used a lot of different types of low sudsing shampoos, the no poos types of shampoos, never using those again. I still needed a formula that will wash my hair, but will just take care of the product debris that accumulated over the week, cleansed my scalp, not necessarily strip everything, right? That's the clarifying role that I will now only do once a month, but once a week I use the Curl Boss shampoo, and I was impressed by, yes, how it did hello grammar, but also I was able to run my fingers through my hair. Even with the presence of the suds, I was able to maneuver my fingers, use a little scrubby scrub. And when I rinsed it clean, my hair just felt clean, but still conditioned and not stripped. And in that moment, it was like, ooh, this is a really good shampoo. And I used this after I had applied the Innate Life Rosemary scalp treatment the night before. I partitioned my hair, get that oil in, the crevices, used 3 to 5 minutes of massaging, scarfed it overnight, and then the next morning I used the Curl Boss shampoo, following with the Thank God It's Natural Honey Mask shampoo. Conditioner once a week. So I'm like, Alicia, you gotta make the time for these treatments, okay? Keep that conditioner on for up to an hour if I don't use any heat. I do have like the thermal cap that you could put in the microwave, so that will stay on for like 15 minutes, and then the remainder of the time until I rinse it out. I also have the Thank God It's Natural protein treatment that I use once a month, because if you overuse the protein thing, the hair could get a little brittle, but I make sure I follow with the honey mask if I do use the protein mask. So that's double mask day once a month with the clarifying shampoo. For the styling, I do toggle between the Pattern Beauty Mousse. This is the detangler nectar that I use to do the braid, but I also have the Design Essentials Natural Avocado and Almond Mousse. Mousse has been my go-to product of choice now. I used to use a lot of puddings and creamy stylers, but now because of the new shape, and I rather use a styling product that just dries faster and works well with my Dyson dryer, so that's why I've gravitated towards mousses. I also use the Eco Style olive oil gel on the sides for a little more definition, and if I do apply the gel on top of the mousse, I make sure the gel is like wet, so I'll spray more water into my hand with the gel on there and finger through the sections that need a little more definition, and that's been working out for me. And how you've seen my hair in a few videos with it out and all that stuff, and this is again the other style that I've been doing. And this morning, like I had just described, I wet my hair, used the mousse, raked it through, made sure that it got all that definition in, let it air dry for a little while before I hit it with the Dyson, and that's how it becomes fluffy defined. So that is the new hair routine. I'm excited to see the results that will emerge from this new cocktail of products and just from my commitment to better hair. Skincare, oh boy. Some of you had commented on my skin from the last couple of videos saying that's been looking quite nice. I think I attribute my improved texture to the fact that I am doing a better job in keeping my hands off my face. You know, that does do wonders. But I wanted to mention a few products that I think have also contributed to my complexion looking more even, brightened, silky. Okay, let me introduce the Rephr Rebalancing Essence and the Gentle Cleanser. Rephr has entered the skincare scene and I could not be more excited. All right, they had introduced their gel cream I think a year ago and are working on a gel cream 2.0. I don't know if they have that on the website yet, but it is improved formula and a bigger cap, yes. But the standout product for me has to be their Gentle Cleanser. It is fragrance free, low sudsing, gets the gunk off, okay? I usually use this after my Good Molecules makeup remover balm, and I love how it feels. It has a silky touch to the skin when I take it all over for the wash, but when I rinse it off, my skin is left conditioned and nourished without feeling that there's any leftover residue or something strange from the formula. No, it cleanses the skin without stripping it and just leaves it be. And I think that's a optimal setup for the rest of my routine, which I follow with, well, let me stick with the evening first. I follow with the Sour de Rue and got the Mista Essence, which I've been using since October. This is great stuff. I don't know how it contributes to the texture. Maybe it's more so like blocking out all the baddies, but this is like liquid silk when applying on my skin. So the experience itself, it just needs to be included in this routine, okay? Then I follow with the Rebalancing Essence from Rephr. This takes on more of a milky texture essence, a little thicker than perhaps a more watery essence you've encountered. I apply this on top of the Sour de Rue for extra hydration for the evening time, and it absorbs quickly. It feels wonderful on the skin, and I just adore the fact that these products have pump bottles, okay? When you order these bottles, it comes with the screw top and a pump separately with different length pipes that you can attach to the pump, and I think that makes it easier to recycle. Hopefully I got that right. If not, my apologies. I'm so sorry. But I just like a pump with the essence. I think it's easier to get out, and also if I want a little extra hydration on this body, I apply some of my on the parts that need a little extra hydration, like my eczema is driving me nuts this month. And then I follow with my actives, but I wanted to highlight Peach and Lily because I fortunately caught a brief sale moment they were having on their site. 20% off the Peach and Lily brand. Sometimes hard to come by. You could encounter it through Ulta, but you just have to make sure you're on the mailing list or you catch those moments, otherwise they are fleeting. I wanted to pick up their Ginger Melt Oil Cleanser as well as give the Good Acid Toner another shot. I did use this years ago, but now I appreciate it more because I feel my routine is more organized, and I'll explain why I feel this has positively contributed to this complexion. And I also bought the Power Cocktail Lactic Acid Serum. In the mornings, I do use the Good Molecules Foaming Salicylic Acid Cleanser. I actually enjoy using a foam in the morning. It's just very soft on the skin. It feels creamy, and when I rinse it off, it does have a slightly medicated scent to it, but it's not bothersome. I just adore how it rinses and my skin is left soft and clean at the same time. Then I follow with the Good Acids Toner. Now, if you're wondering, ooh, is that a little too much? I only use the Good Acids Toner in the morning after the cleanser, and what I find this does is just to help slow off any excess dead skin that might have accumulated overnight from using the tretinoin or the lactic acid serum. It's gentle in that it is formulated formulated to, yes, still have the acids in there, but not cause irritation to sensitive skin. Because, you know, us sensitive skin folk, we like the exfoliation too, okay? We just gotta be a little more strategic with what we choose and how we integrate these products into our routine. So I found just using this in the mornings has worked out incredibly well. And then I follow with the Allies of Skin Vitamin C Serum. I mentioned this in my Beautylish fall gift card event video where I was quite surprised at the texture initially. It was sticky and thick and I'm like, oh boy, this is new for me. I started with half a pump, graduated to a full pump, and I just spent a little more time working that into my skin. It might not be a favorable texture to some, I can understand, especially if you're used to using SkinCeuticals or another type of vitamin C serum that just has a more pleasant texture. I totally get it. I have to say I've grown quite accustomed to the sticky texture of this vitamin C serum, which I feel yields a lovely canvas for makeup. It might not feel great when you're applying it, but all my foundation application after using the vitamin C serum and then of course finishing with the moisturizer, my skin has been looking incredible. And I think it's due to this type of serum texture. Again, might not be on the first lay down well received, but I'm sticking to this. I'm fully committed to finishing this. I don't know if I'll repurchase. Maybe I'll encounter another vitamin C serum that has a more pleasant texture for application, but right now the Allies of Skin and we have common ground and we agree to stick together till the very end. And for the evening time, I apply alternating with my tretinoin, the Power Cocktail Lactic Acid Serum. This serum's texture is incredible. Silky, is fragrance free. It just feels lovely to apply. And I do use this with the glass serum, which many people think doesn't do much. Maybe it doesn't. I truly feel the glass skin serum contributes a lot to how my complexion appears in reducing any unevenness, blemishes, really refining the texture of my skin. I bought the jumbo size and the regular size. The regular size I keep in my bae bag and the jumbo size I keep here at home. Yes, I am devoted to that serum. And I wanted to try their lactic acid serum because with using tretinoin, that has a different role. That is more so for cellular turnover that's happening like deep into the pore, but I need something that was more surface level, sloughing off that dead skin. In addition to the good acid toner, I wanted a serum with lactic acid that also helps with discoloration and unevenness of skin tone. And I think this has positively contributed to that goal. You know, I might repurchase this again. I'm just impressed with how my skin has been looking. And again, the texture is lovely to apply. And the overall experience I've been undergoing with these products have just been phenomenal. This I will have to get back to you about. I found with the oil cleanser, you have to use a lot of water to ensure that nothing gets left behind. If you don't use enough water, it might feel like there's a residue left behind that some people consider to be okay, especially if you're dry. If you're oily, I don't know if you'll be comfortable with that. So I'm still playing. We're getting acquainted with each other. Have not decided yet if I like this more than the good molecules, but I will say it's easier to pump out than to scoop out. So that from a practical standpoint, this wins a point. In terms of the actual cleansing and experience, I'm still deciding on. A lot of MVPs, as you just heard from the skincare category this month, but I have to give a huge MVP award to the Phytosurgence Moisturizer. This was a gift sent to me by the team by surprise. I ordered the Wisteria. It's not an iPod, they have an official name. My apologies, fam. And the Skin Spark Blush Balm in Smolder. I'll show you that later on. They threw in one of their moisturizers. And actually, they had said this is an underdog product in their lineup. And boy, oh boy, I immediately felt the need to share when I just applied this once. The texture, friends, creamy but not greasy, lightweight but still moisturizing. It smells like green tea ice cream. I kid you not. Although it has that herbaceous green tea scent to it, it does disappear. So if you are sensitive to fragrance, even if it's green tea, just beware. I think you'll be okay. The texture, however, it like cuddles my skin. It's soft and leaves behind a luminous finish without looking too greasy. It feels lovely to apply. A beautiful last step to my skincare routine. I've been applying this morning and night, so I haven't used my Good Molecule silicone-free moisturizer in quite some time because I just fell in love with this. Gorgeous under makeup, my goodness. You couldn't ask for a better moisturizer for makeup prep. Again, it gives you the right amount of moisture without overwhelming the skin, without it feeling too slick, especially if you're using a foundation that's on the matte side of things or more matte side of things. This will definitely even out the finish so it looks more perhaps satin natural instead of too dry matte. But again, you all been saying the skin's looking good. This is what I've been using. Last step in the routine. Morning and evening. And I do think it just contributed to the improvement of my skin texture, to how my makeup looks, everything from my foundation, powder, to cheek products. So when they said it was an underdog product, I'm like, I'm sharing in my monthly favorites video that this moisturizer needs to be on the people's radar, okay? A huge thank you again to the Phytosurgence team for the generous gift. I was just floored. I thought it was a mistake. I'm like, is this for me? Did they put this in here by accident? They did not. They gifted it to me and I couldn't ask for a better moisturizer. And all this time, for the duration of October, I think I've been using these products for the last month. I noticed a decrease in breakouts. I might get a little small pimple here and there, but I don't get like those pimples that hurt, you know, that really like emerge from like the depths of my skin. I might get a little blackhead or whitehead here and there, but nothing profoundly acne related has occurred, and I think it's because of this routine. I could be wrong. This could be all placebo in my head, but the products that I've been using, I think, have just worked synergistically in a way that yields these results, that there's a perfect balance of active and non-active. I'm not overdoing it, but I'm doing just enough. So I'm very happy with these products. They'll all be linked down below, by the way, if you want to check them out. Clothes. Ooh boy. Let me start off with Hashira Studio, which I adore. They do like low-key anime gear, you know, pulling from the anime in terms of like not having the character on the clothes, but something from the character that represents them. And if you know, you know. So this is the Zoro Wano hoodie. Oh boy. This hoodie is the softest hoodie I have ever worn. It's like wearing a blanket. I'm not even kidding. So if you have been watching One Piece, we are still currently in the Wano arc, and Zoro has his kimono with this pattern on, and Hashira Studios put the patches on the hoodie, which look incredible. They're shiny, they're bold, they're vibrant, on top of the forest green, and on the center you have Zoro's stitch chest scar, right? Which I think is so cool. Again, if you're a fan, you know when you see that, you know it belongs to Zoro. Incredible feel, incredible cut. This is in a size small. I originally wanted a medium, but I'm happy I got the small because the small goes over my butt and I think is oversized enough for me to have that look, but not make it feel like it's too big on me. Have to mention Steady Hands again. I picked up their Trafalgar Law cardigan and cap. I feel so cool with this outfit. Again, if you know, you know that Trafalgar Law has his Jolly Roger. The Jolly Roger is here on the sweater, and he always wears a hat with this design with the black spots on them. It also comes in a bucket hat, by the way. And for the cap, it comes with this white velvet material, which I think really cool. Maybe not practical for cleaning purposes, but just be careful, you know, don't dump your head in mud or whatever. And Steady Hands was so nice to gift me the Ace bucket hat just as a thank you for mentioning their brand. And I'm like, listen, friend, any time, okay? People need to know about the cardigans. I also ordered the Ace cardigan and can't wait to wear the Ace bucket hat with the Ace cardigan. I know, not enough. We need a little more fan enthusiasm from Alicia. Lastly, I think I mentioned the Rag & Bone barrel jeans sometime in my summer favorites where I adored this silhouette. It's not wide leg, it's not boyfriend straight leg either. It's a little wide around the thigh but tapers a tiny bit at the ankle, and I actually ordered more pairs because they went on sale. So I have different washes in this cut. It's high-waisted, hugs my tush in a way that doesn't flatten it like a lot of wide-legged straight boyfriend style jeans do. And then I encountered these Lululemon pants. I'm grabbing the official name because it's quite long. The Light Ultitech Cargo Pocket High Rise Pant. When it comes to clothes and trying things on in the dressing room, cute or it looks okay is not enough. Whatever item I'm trying on, to just nail it, check all the boxes for me to decide it's a purchase, okay? And boy, did that happen when I tried on these pants. The minute I zipped up and buttoned, it was a wrap. A wrap. One of those things, and I'm sure you have experienced trying on a piece of clothing that just fuses with your soul. Everything aligns, your style, your expectations, inspiration at that very moment. More outfit ideas are just springing up and you're like, I need these in all the colorways. And that's what happened with these pants. I don't remember when I encountered the barrel leg design trend in the fashion world. I think it's something that I've always liked, always sought out, but could never find. And it was until, again, the Rag & Bone purchases and now trying on these Lululemon pants. They're high-waisted, but they're stretchy. So there is an elastic ruching on the back and then the button on the front. They have the barrel leg silhouette around the majority of the thigh, but come into a slight taper toward the ankle. The length is perfect. I'm 5'5". I do roll up the bottom just, to add a little bit of texture there. You have the cargo pants on the side, but they're very sewn into the pant. They don't look bulky, but they add body to the actual pant look, which I love. Great deep pockets on the top of the hip, and they're stretchy. Fam, this is why I love these transitional pieces. I love leggings, but sometimes I want to wear a pant, okay? I want to look a little more put together. And these pants allow me to do just that. I could squat in them. I even taught in them once. I was just having a day, I didn't want to wear leggings at that moment, but I still needed to teach. I still needed to demo, and I did so just fine. I even told my class, I'm like, look, these pants look casual, but they're movement appropriate. I promise you. I bought them in, I think, toasted brown and graphite, and I recently just ordered the carob brown that, even though it says carob brown, it looks more like an olive. Best purchase I have made this year for clothes. I can't get over it. I'm wearing them now. I'm wearing them now. I've been wearing them every day and will continue to do so over the winter time because they are big enough for me to pull over leggings if I wanted to do that double layer thing, which will happen eventually when it gets to 20 degrees and below. Hey, I can't wait. They also have them in the khaki color. I have not ordered those yet because I don't think it's a practical color choice right now. But ooh boy, the temptation levels are high and off the charts because I just want all of them. I want all of them. Hopefully they'll make different colors as the season changes. If they ever made like a vibrant magenta or a jade green, something like that, I'm picking them up. No questions, add to basket right away. Nails! Talk about the nails. Of course, the standout nail item for October was the Mooncat and Hocus Pocus 2 collaboration. I purchased the collector's box with all 6 polishes. They're all magnetic multi-chrome with like some type of flaky whatever, and you have the spell here. The collection comes with nail art stickers, which I haven't used because I'm a little bit of a collector's geek and I know the stickers won't last, but I'll have them there for a very special occasion. You never know. I did keep the boxes because each box comes with the collaboration design. This is in the shade Amuk Amuk Amuk. Amuk Amuk Amuk. Even the inside of the box is beautifully designed. You know what I'm saying? There could not have been a better brand to collaborate with Hocus Pocus. The Mooncat bottle design just definitely has that potion, alchemy, witchcraft feel about it anyway. So to have Hocus Pocus polish in here was beyond perfect. So you see you got the bigger particles in this magnetic formula, and I wanted to mention this as I had applied these polishes twice. I applied, let's see here, maybe 5 out of the 6. You see the flakes here compared to their other magnetics. So this is, I believe, Salon, I forgot the name, and this is Neptune something. So these are more shimmer glitter magnetic multichromes, and this has more of the bigger flake particles. Now I usually like to allot a large amount of time for my nail polish to dry to ensure that it does dry down to that crystal-like finish, no smudging, no nicks. I found with the Hocus Pocus collab formula that I have to use 2 top coats because the bigger flakes, when you hold the magnetic tool over your nail and you then polish with the top coat and hold the magnetic tool over the nail again, the bigger flakes I think shift the polish in a way that makes it look like it didn't dry down as smooth. I can't explain it because the last 2 times I applied these polishes and I gave like a good amount of time for them to dry, the nails look like there was some movement in the polish. So I think if you wanted to use this flaky formula in the magnetic multichrome, that one top coat with the magnetic tool, let dry, and then apply another top coat to ensure that crystal finish so the polish looks completely smooth on the nail bed. Other than that though, and I like to use the Mooncat, I think, Dark Arts collection where it has the burgundy, like that eggplant and forest green under these types of shades, because with magnetic multichromes the nail polish shifts, right? If you want to amplify the actual color of the multichrome, you could use black, which will be great because the backdrop will be black and then on top it will have whatever color the polish is. But if you want this to look green, then I would use the forest green cream under the magnetic multichrome, and ooh, it's gonna look so beautiful. I still have Mooncat on today. Just look at this. Isn't this thing crazy? I love magnetics. They're just the best. So big shout out to Mooncat. Congratulations on the collab. I think they did a fantastic job. Everything from the collector's box to the shades that were chosen to the shade names to including the stickers. The whole experience is fantastic. Brushes. This was the month for brushes, fam. I mean, my goodness. Where do I begin? Well, let's start with the new Rephr release. I have a video describing each of the brushes, comparisons. You can find them there as well. Incredible set. I've been using these brushes all month. Well, more than that, because they sent these to me well before the release so I could get acquainted with the brushes, use them with different products. And the 37 has been my go-to with the Hourglass Tiger palette. I've been using the 34 in my Danessa palette. The 36, this concealer brush, my goodness. I forgot to mention in the Rephr video, you could also use this with eyeshadow, albeit for bigger eyes, but if you ever wanted that one and done swoop, you could definitely use a 36 for that purpose. The 35 I used today to blend out my concealer. The dome top of the brush makes it so soft and smooth to blend out your concealer. And then the 33 for those one and done moments across the lids. And I wanted to mention the 31s. Now, some of you think it's stabby. Yes, if you go in with the pouncing method, it could feel stabby, but what I have been doing is the swirl and twirl application technique, just working that foundation in, and if you do that, it feels quite smooth on the skin. So I would reserve the pouncing pushing foundation in technique to the BK Beauty 101 contour foundation brush, for instance, because that's not stippled and is completely flat, so that will feel softer. But I've been doing the swirl and twirl and I just been loving how foundation's been looking. The Sonia G Fusion Eye Series. When Sonia decided to do the Fusion Eye Series with the natural bristles and synthetic fibers, there has been a resurgence of love using one and done makeup items like the Auric Glow Reflect pots or any type of like pot. The Rephr Brushes, the eye soots, I use these little guys too, where I could use either the blender or the builder or the worker. Just whip on that shadow, tap on a little bit of the Dazzly Azzly, and you're done. It's been so satisfying to rely on a minimalist approach to my eye makeup this month. Yes, I got a bunch of stuff on because I use the Empowered palette. I'll get there in a minute, but these brushes have made it exceptionally easy to now reach for the eye pots, the eye creams, the eye liquids, and these brushes have the perfect ratio of natural to synthetic, where you get fantastic pickup, but you have wonderful smooth blend, the blurred edges, everything looks professional. It's a dream come true with these brushes. Let me just leave it at that. And lastly, the BK Beauty Core Extension line. A huge thank you not only to Rephr and to Beautylish and Sonia for sending the brushes I just showed, but also to Lisa J and the BK Beauty team for sending their core extension line. I also have a video covering each brush, and I've been adoring the 109, as suspected, right? It is the smaller version of the 101 contour foundation brush. Because of the smaller shape, I just feel it easier to maneuver around the face, to just get a little more precise, and much more versatile to then use with cheek products that I wouldn't be able to do otherwise with the bigger 101 brush, but now I can with the 109. And the different face brushes included in the core extension, as well as the eye brushes. I've just been having a ball with my makeup in October, given everything from Rephr through BK Beauty, and the results have been looking flawless. One of those things when you got the right tools, man, there's no stopping you. I have the Huda Beauty Empowered palette on. I mentioned this in my Sephora wishlist came true video, where Magic Link sent me a gift card to buy items to talk about the holiday savings event that is still going on now. If you want to take a look at the recommendations video, I'll leave that up above in the card and down below in the link. My favorite part about this palette is the mauve lavender gray side, and these are the shades that just captured my interest initially when I saw this palette for the first time. Nothing wrong with this side, it's totally fine, but I find the uniqueness lives on this side of the palette, right? Rebel is an incredible shade. It's like a rose mauve. The texture is beautifully soft and easy to apply. And then I went in with Winter, which is like this grayish tone, but it's not black gray. It's more like a lavender gray that I feel perfect for daily smoke without it looking too much. Bold Moves has a lot of flake and impact, so I lightly tap that on the center of my lid. You don't need a ton. And then I added Visionary through the crease because it's not as shiny as Bold Moves, but it does have a little bit of sheen where it takes on more like that coppery tone that I think nice to add to the look. And then I went in with Limitless. It's this flaky gold overlay shade that I place on the inner corner of my eye, and the end result I absolutely adore. Again, nothing bad with the peaches and more of the like red tones that exist on the other side. Again, the standout looks I feel you could achieve with the mauves and the grays. And of course you got Purpose and Worthy, which are your cream shades in the palette. I think those are best used to amplify the more low-key textures in here. Manifested has like that gel type of feel. Visionary, again, is more of like a satin sheen type of a shade, but if you wanted to amplify the color and the finish, you could apply Purpose or Worthy all over lid crease and lower lash line, and then tap those textures on so there's more adherence and again more vibrancy in the finished look. I still have to film myself using this palette for more looks and more ideas. If you have it, if you picked it up during the sale and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Well, we're gonna get there. Hang tight. Pat McGrath's Celestial Nirvana Mothership Mega. Outstanding surprise when we first learned that we were gonna get a green matte. And you're like, what's the big deal? Listen, we've been waiting for different colored mattes from Mother for a very long time, and I'm just so thrilled she decided to include more vibrant colors in this offering. My favorite, you're gonna be like, Alicia, really? Desert Divinity. Desert Divinity is like this neutral kind of, I don't want to say taupe brown, but it's a great grounding shade to pair with any of the other colorful mattes in here if you just wanted to adjust the vibrancy, the saturation a little bit, but it won't muddy the color. It's a great way to adjust it if you don't want to fully commit to the violet or the green. Bronze Infatuation. In fact, in my Divine Glow and Blush palette video, is it Divine Blush and Glow? Divine Blush and Glow. In that video, I had Desert Divinity through the crease, Bronze Infatuation on my lid. This is an incredible color, and especially when it settles onto the lid, the pearl, so lovely. Fantastic palette, one and done if you need daily friendly. Daily friendly can be many things to many people, but if you wanted to stick to the more neutral, you could stay there. If you wanted to invite other colors, you can, and the end result won't look clownish or too overly made up. It's just perfect. The textures of these mattes, outstanding, especially since they're different color mattes and not your typical brown neutral brown. And then you have your different metallics in here that come in an array of varying finishes. One's more shimmer, more metallic, so you got a lot of playroom in here, and I've just quite enjoyed it. Have to say, the quints are great. I gifted my Bronze Bliss quint to a fam member, and I kept Nude Allure. Even though I think the Bronze Bliss quint is the more impressive out of the two because of Lunar Luxury, that ultra wet looking shiny silver shade, okay? Nude Allure is a fantastic everyday palette. I wore this over one weekend and I enjoyed, even though you had the copper and the more plum shades in here, you were still able to create a daily friendly look that had nice smoke but pizzazz at the same time without you having to apply a ton of shadow. So this is the matte, which I think is an incredible one and done matte shade for smoke and body on the eyes. You could just apply this all over a crease, lid, and lower lash line and maybe dab one of these metallics on top. And it's an incredible combination. Nude Allure is great. Yes, I downplayed it in that video because I know when it comes to Pat McGrath, we want like the shiniest, the glitziest, and the glamorous. But Nude Allure I grab for easier makeup days, ones that I want impact but not too much. It's not so committal like, you know, a mothership moment, right? So this is fantastic, and the size makes it incredibly easy also to travel with. Anastasia Beverly Hills Rose Metals. Woo! When I first encountered this in Nordstrom, and huge thank you again to Jen for gifting this to me. The mattes in here are incredible, but what was stand out is when I heard about the inspiration for this palette, 90s grunge. What does that mean? Just like that grittiness, that depth that exists here, not so much literally where you don't have like the grays and the blacks, but just the hardiness of the shades themselves deliver that grunge feel. And the different textures also, I think, make it incredibly easy to achieve those types of looks with you just using one color. For instance, Nocturne. Nocturne is like that antique, dirty silver olive shade. Whip across the lid, some in the crease, and you're done. You're done. You don't need to layer on 3 mattes and this and that. You just use one shade at a time. You could even use Heavenly as like your topper moment. So if you wanted a little more glitz, you can lightly tap Heavenly, and look how that provides beautiful reflectivity without you having to use a ton. Matte's incredibly soft and easy to blend out. I've rather enjoyed this palette like I did with Nouveau, but Rose Metals, there's something special about Rose Metals. It's satisfying to see the curation, the experience, everything involved has been top notch for me. Going into the cheek products, oh, I know, so many things to talk about in this video. As I mentioned while talking about the Phytosurgence moisturizer that I picked up, the Skin Spark Blush Balm in Smolder, described to be a burnt peach, and burnt anything is just right up my alley. Sign me up. Subscribe, please. Beautiful everyday color that's lightweight on the skin. It doesn't have the same impact as Inferno and Singe, which could be a good thing for me. Sometimes I just need to dab a little something on my complexion that gives me life, okay? But I can be more liberal with that application, use my fingers, use different types of brushes, but the color itself is a unique peach shade that's not super pink, but a little bit of that orange tint to it, which I love. The Mob Beauty palette, boy oh boy. I introduced this again in my Beautylish fall gift card event video. This was sent to me upon my request because I was intrigued about the different textures in the lineup, how you could create your own palette. The cream bronzer shade for me, and to give perspective, lies between the NARS Laguna cream bronzer and the Say bronzer. It's not too translucent like the Say, but not too hardy color rich like the NARS, but gives the right amount of sculpt and tan. This color kind of envelops my face with that sun-kissed glow without giving too much sculpt. And although there are times where I want to have sculpt for my bronzer, get a little bit of contouring, sometimes I just need a little bit of warmth adjusting in that color, and this is what the Ma Beauty Cream Bronzer does. I followed up with the powder, and then I applied the powder blush in Honey Rose. The Honey Rose shade is so lovely. It's not too pink, but not too mauve either. It gives me the right amount of pink flush on the complexion. And the rose gold highlighter, I would say similar to Pat McGrath's highlighter, not as shiny, which is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Some people like their highlighter to look super wet on the cheekbones, but I think it's nice to have more of a subdued glow also, and that's what the Ma Beauty powder highlighter does for me. Great to apply and very forgiving in terms of the different types of brushes. So although this is like a cheek brush, I can easily apply the highlighter and it eases onto the skin effortlessly. It just kind of hugs the contours and sinks into whatever it comes in contact with. So it's a pretty easy powder to deal with, especially if you feel intimidated by highlighters. The Ma Beauty texture is very easy to use. And of course, the cream blush, a great color also to pair with Honey Rose. This is, I think, like a more rosewood leaning shade. So I've been impressed and very happy with the shades that I chose to be in this palette, and one that I could just rely on for all my cheek needs, especially if on the go. The NARS Rising Star Cheek Palette. I mentioned this in my, again, Sephora wish list video. Some of you were disappointed with the shades, but I found that this is great to layer on. Let's say I did this in the demo. I applied these two shades on top of Smolder, and because these are bait, I found you can pick up a lot of product and pounce that powder on the skin and it not look heavy or powdery. It has a nice satin finish with a lovely sheen left behind. And then I pounced the pinkier shades here on top into the hollows to give me like that cheek blush sculpt type of look, and it's ultra satisfying to just press blush in and not swirl and twirl it sometimes, and you can get away with that technique with this type of a formula because it's so pressed and gel baked that it's not going to look heavy on the skin, and you don't have to work it in that swirl and twirl manner like you might have with a more powdery formula. The Guilty Pleasure highlighter, not as highlighty. I did get the Charlotte Tilbury face palette. I'll show that in another video. It's not as highlighty as that formula, not as highlighty as the Ma Beauty. It does have more of a subdued sheen, and I applied this on my actual cheeks. This actually has more of like a mauve look to the skin, which is why I don't apply it high on top because it kind of disappears. I apply it lower here on the cheeks, and that gives more of a sheen, and you could probably see it better if you layer it over another blush shade in here. Despite that though, I've quite enjoyed this palette, especially when layering the different blush colors together. Again, because of the gel baked texture, it makes it incredibly easy to use with a stiffer brush. So I used it with the Rephr number 4. This is undyed goat hair. It picks up a lot more product and works it well into the skin without it looking too made up, right? Moves well, looks silky, feels great, all done. And lastly, gotta show the Rephr Beauty Makeout Club Soft Blur Lipstick. I have on the shade Baddie. I also have the shade Main Character. Great lip product. I've been wearing these non-stop ever since I received it, again from my Magic Links video. The color is enough to pull the look together. It's soft matte, but it doesn't feel dry on the application or on the wear. It's just great to apply, and the smaller lipstick bullet makes it easier to maneuver around the contours of your lip. You could wear a lip liner if you wanted a little more contrast, a little more staying power, but I've just been applying this on the go, and it's like a balm with soft matte color benefits. Fantastic. Main Character, amazing on its own without any eyeshadow, maybe a little bit of blush on the cheeks. Baddie looks great with what I got going on right now, and I think, again, these colors have just found themselves well in my current makeup collection. And friends, I think we have finally met the end to this monthly faves video. So many great moments during the month of October, and the month of November has kicked off to a fun start also. So I'll keep you updated on the hair. We'll make notes on anything I purchased during November, and remember, he rhymes, we are encountering Black Friday season, sale, mayhem, holiday, whoa. Keep your list tight, keep track of what you need, what you don't need. Yes, sales are great if you're re-upping on items, but know that whatever you wish to buy for fun, but make sure whatever you decide to buy for fun, that it's something you had your eye on for a long time and you're waiting for a sale. Try to lessen the impulse buying, which can happen a lot during this time. I understand it happens to me, but I think if you prepare yourself and have a list of items that you know you're gonna buy, you're just waiting for that email to make the purchase, that keeps you better on track. Let me know what you have your eye on for November. I will see you down in those comments, fam. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, monthly faves extravaganza, or Huda Beauty Empowered palette tutorial video that should be coming soon. Take care, and I will see you again soon.